Good morning, students. I hope you're enjoying all my videos that I have uploaded of class 9, 10th, and now I am continuing with my series of class 11. This is Padmaja Behera once again with another chapter from the book Hornbill of class 11, and the chapter is 2 and the name is Photograph. The theme of the poem is transitoriness of human beings and the permanence of nature. I hope after you read this poem, you can very well understand the underlying theme. Through this poem, we realize the essential worth of a picture that is taken on any kind of occasion or celebration, and how our past influences are present. Death of a person leaves you speechless, and we are left with nostalgic feelings when we are depressed or sad or lonely after you see the picture that was taken at that point of time. The poem at the outset may seem to be simple, but it is very complex. Lots of emotions can be felt. There are memories of the past, the loss of a loved one, and the reality of life. And last but not the least, the inability to justify death. Death is inhabitable because we are mortal beings, whereas the nature, the sea, the earth, the sky, they're all permanent. The poet is unable to bear the loss of her mother as they were very close, which is clearly mentioned in the last stanza, where the poet is left with only silence. Death of a loved one leaves you with silence, a deep vacuum which no one can fill. You only have memories which you like to restore, which you like to live with, because that is the only thing that we can have after a person's loss. That is why these photographs are enjoyable, when you are depressed or sad, or you try to remember the happy moments. This poem is divided into three separate moments. In the first stanza, the poet's mother is seen with her two cousins, Betty and Dolly, who are younger to her, and they have gone on a beach holiday where the uncle is taking a picture, and all three of them are smiling. And the poet's mother is the eldest one, and the two cousins are younger to her. They're very happy when they are being photographed by the uncle. The photograph shows the permanence of nature, and the sea holiday also shows that the sea is permanent, the nature is permanent. The sea is permanent, as I told you. The sea has not changed much, whereas the poet's mother has grown old. The sea has not changed. The sea is still there along with the poet, whereas the poet has lost her mother. In the second stage, there is a time of lamentation wherein the mother is trying to accept the continuity of life as she has grown old. And she's remembering her childhood days, and she's remembering the time and how she has aged with time. And a moment may come, she may lose her life and leave this earth. In the third stanza, the poet is remembering her mother as she is no more. She is left with a deep vacuum. The photograph of the mother's beach holiday is a reminder of the impermanence of human life. The daughter has sweet memories of her mother when she was used to watch the photograph. How the mother used to laugh on at seeing the photograph. But now, when the poet is remembering her, she only remembers the mother's laughter as the mother is no longer alive. This shows that how the nature gives us a lesson that human beings are mortal, and the poet is only left with the memories. She notices that time has passed by and almost 12 years has passed, which is same as the girl in the photograph. The girl in the photograph is her mother, who was 12 years old when the photograph was taken. And now, when the poet is reminiscing and recollecting the time spent with her mother, she finds that 12 years has passed by since she has lost her mother. And how all the three, sisters, poet's mother and the two cousins, Betty and Dolly, were dressed up, and how they enjoyed the beach holiday and how was their childhood. This is, children, don't you think this is the irony of life? There are two contrasting life and death, two contrasting ideas. One has to come to life to go to death. The cycle of life goes on, and one can never forego it. Students, this poem has a lot of phrases like silence, silences, which justifies that after the death of the poet's mother, the poet is left with only silence. The sea has appeared to have changed less, justifying that the sea does not change. The sea is permanent, the sea is eternal. Now, and another phrase is both wry with the labored ease of loss. What will literary device in this particular phrase? Both wry. Both the poet and her mother have suffered losses. The literary device is oxymoron. Why? Look at the sentence, look at the phrase. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Ease and labor are two contrasting, words. So it is oxymoron. Both the poet's mother and the poet have suffered losses. The poet's mother has lost her childhood, and the poet has lost her mother. We all mortal beings have to leave this earth one day, and we always try to keep memories in our photograph. The photograph is permanent. It is also a justification of the good, happy moments or sad, depressing moments that we must have faced in our life. Normally, we take a photograph during our happy moments. It is a recollection of our happy moments. I hope this poem is clear to you. Please go through the poem and understand all the literary devices, the poetic devices. Like I told you just now, silent silences is repetition, labor days of loss is oxymoron, and there are other lines also which have a lot of devices, literary devices, poetic devices. I hope you will go through the particular poem and understand it. I have just given you a brief summary and theme of the particular poem. Thank you, children. I hope you like this video. Please do share and like and subscribe. Thank you.